What is up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Keara. If you're new to my channel, hello. I mostly make queer content, so this is kind of not in my usual realm of content, but I think it's an important video to make. So let me just give some context, some preface to this video. Before you start assuming things when you read the title, stick with me, hear me out. So I went vegan fully in June of 2019. The main reason I went vegan, it wasn't really like a super conscious, hard decision. It was kind of just like, I wanted to try it out and see how I felt. My partner, Lauren, had been vegan for a year already, and we just started dating, and we'd go to vegan restaurants all the time when they visited or when I visited them in Ohio. And I really just enjoyed eating vegan. And I kind of realized every time I hung out with Lauren for like weeks at a time, I would go vegan because I would eat the same thing Lauren was eating. It was kind of just like a, let's see how this goes. Like, let's see if I can be vegan. And it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard at all. I think a lot of the misconceptions that people have about going vegan is that it's super hard. I am lucky though and privileged that I live in a big city where there's a ton of vegan restaurants. There's always like vegan meats and vegan specialty vegan items in the grocery stores here. And I know that's not the case for every place on planet Earth because it's just not. So it was fairly easy for me to go vegan. I didn't really miss meat, to be honest. I think the only thing I missed was eggs. I love eggs. It's like my favorite breakfast food. It's my thing, scrambled eggs on toast. Mwah! Prior to this, I had already cut out dairy because I'm very lactose intolerant. Somehow I can deal with butter, but any other dairy, can't do any of that. I get the worst stabbing pains in my stomach. Fast forward to, I think it was December of 2020. Holy shit, that's almost a year ago. It's like a year and a half of me being vegan. I was like very depressed and very lethargic. It was the winter, I always get seasonal depression, fun. I wanted to make sure that I got my blood tested because I hadn't gotten my blood tested for a really long time, and I wanted to let my doctor know that I was vegan just in case I'm not missing any nutrients, you know, that I was previously getting when I was non-vegan. So I get a blood test. They mainly tested my B12 and my iron because those are the main things that vegetarians and vegans could be deficient in. Not always, but could be if you're not paying attention to what you're eating. No one gave me any sort of information before going vegan, like how to do veganism properly, how to do it healthfully, because there's a lot of ways that you can do it not healthily. I get my blood test results back. My doctor is like, oof, Keara, you are bordering on anemia. Like, ooh, you are extremely iron deficient. I remember her saying that like a normal range for like your iron ferritin to be in was like 30 to 40, and mine was an 8. An 8! So I'm glad I got it checked. I started taking iron pills and made my poop black. So that was kind of my first realization where I was like, oh shit, I might not actually be eating properly. I also need to say that I actually don't know if I was iron deficient before I became vegan. I might have been. A lot of people who get periods are iron deficient just because of the way it goes. I don't know if it's because I went vegan that I was really low in iron, but I don't think it helped. Eating vegan is healthy if you do it in a correct way. And I thought I was being healthy, but I digress. I started eating eggs. I started incorporating eggs back into my diet. I felt a little bit bad about it, but at the end of the day, I felt better. And then, I don't know when this happened. It was this year, but we started eating a bit of seafood. It started with shrimp and crab and stuff like that, and then it went on to fish. Right now, I am pescatarian and dairy-free. I don't think I will ever go back to eating like land animals. I feel I'm still very not about that, but I am eating fish. I do feel bad, but I try to get like sustainably farmed fish, even though I know it's still not good. I'm doing that for my health mainly. I just want to talk about like the pros and cons of being vegan because I feel like there's very black or white opinions on this. It's either like vegans who are like forcing veganism on other people, and then there's some people who are like meat all the way, think vegans are all like deficient in every vitamin and think they're like gonna die. There's always these extreme opinions, but I kind of wanted to give like a more balanced, I guess, opinion on this because I was vegan for about 2 years and now I'm pescatarian. I want to inform you guys, if you're thinking of going vegan, if you're already vegan or vegetarian or whatever, I just want to give you some information. And again, I'm not the expert on this, but I just wanted to give some stuff that I wish I knew when I went vegan. And I don't want this to sway you from going vegan. I don't want this to make anyone think that they shouldn't go vegan. Like, going vegan is such a wonderful thing that you can do for yourself, for your health, for the planet, and for animals. So I'm gonna talk about the pros first. My personal pros of when I went vegan was, obviously, I felt really good about the environmental impact. If people just cut out meat like a few times a week, it's gonna make a big difference. So people going completely vegan is making a huge, huge difference for the earth, for the climate, for climate change. When you're vegan, you're not ingesting any other, you know, being's flesh, and you feel good knowing that you're not eating a dead animal carcass. I do believe that when you eat an animal, parts of their energy, you know, gets kind of transferred to you, because most animals in the factory farms are being slaughtered just terribly, and these animals are so terrified. And when you eat their flesh, I believe that you get some of that energy passing through you. Also, another thing about going vegan was, so prior to going vegan, I did not really like to eat vegetables. Like, salads were just like meh. Like, whenever I would go out to a restaurant, I would order a meat of some sort and a carb, and that was it. And I just wasn't the best at knowing how to cook vegetables. I wasn't the best at making sure I got vegetables in my diet. So when I went vegan, it was kind of like, you kind of have to, you know? There's no other choice. You gotta eat vegetables. I got a lot better at eating vegetables, and that's really good for you. Also, my bowel movements were a lot more regular and frequent than when I wasn't vegan. Those were the really great things about going vegan. Now I want to talk about the cons. Probably the main thing was that I wasn't planning out my meals well enough. I don't really have the time to plan out my meals so that I make sure I get every single nutrient I need. I was not getting enough protein. You can though. You can be vegan and get enough protein. You just need to be more conscious of what you're eating. Even though something is vegan, technically, it doesn't mean it's healthy. I'm talking about like processed vegan foods. I don't know much about nutrition. My mom's a certified nutritionist, so like I kind of have some knowledge from her, but I don't know exactly all the specific things you need in each meal. But if you go vegan, just make sure you're eating whole foods. So not as much processed foods, even though it's easy. Try and stay away from that. And I'm not like, I literally had like a vegan sausage today for lunch. So like, I'm not fully against it. You just need to make sure you eat mostly whole foods. So grains, legumes, vegetables, nuts, seeds, stuff like that. Like, you're trying to lower your cholesterol by not eating meat, but then you like go to a vegan fast food place and there's so much like oil and grease and deep fried shit that like it's not good for your cholesterol. It's like, do you know what I mean? Another con of being vegan is it's not always easy or accessible to everyone, and not everyone has the money for it. And vegan groceries aren't necessarily expensive. It's the like plant-based meat alternative, the processed foods that tend to be more expensive. But if you just buy whole foods, cans of beans aren't expensive. Head of lettuce, that's not expensive. Stuff like that. Another thing is, it's hard to dine out at every restaurant you go because there isn't always gonna be a vegan option. Vegan restaurants, for some reason, are way more expensive sometimes than like restaurants that have like meat and stuff. And I don't understand that. Like, I don't know why they would need to be more expensive, but just in my experience, they are. Once you go vegan, make sure you get regular blood tests, especially for your iron and B12 levels. And you don't need to eat meat products to get those. You can just be more conscious of what you put in your body so you make sure you're getting that nutrients from plant-based foods. You can also take supplements, but just make sure you get doctor's approval first. Don't take anything unless you know you're deficient in it. Going vegan is a really wonderful thing that you can do for yourself, for animals, for the planet. I always recommend people eat, you know, vegetarian or vegan because in my experience, it's amazing. It's a really great thing you can do. And obviously I'm not a medical professional, so I don't want to give any, you know, official medical advice, but if you want to cross all your T's and dot all your I's, just make sure you go to the doctors. But I just wanted to give kind of a few things to watch out for, some information before going vegan so that you're prepared and that you know. I don't want this video to scare you, I just want you to be equipped with knowledge. I would also encourage you to do your own research on healthy eating while vegan. There's a lot of really great documentaries, podcasts, articles out there. The more knowledge, the better. Everyone's bodies are different too. Like some people could be eating like shit, but like have fine iron levels, fine B12. Some people just are, their bodies just don't work with a vegan diet, and that's okay. I think if we just limit the amount of animal products that we eat every day, we'll be moving in a good direction. I hope no one's mad at me. JK, I don't really care because I know I'm doing what's best for my body. I feel the healthiest right now. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below. Have you gone vegan? Are you vegan? What's been your experience with going vegan? Let's all respect each other's opinions in the comments below. No hate, please. And I will see you in my next video. I love you.